In South Africa, the 50th BRICS Summit continues. President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the accession of 6 countries in January 2024 to the BRICS Alliance. In Greece, the forest fires emergency continues as firefighting services are trying to contain the numerous fires throughout the country. Zimbabwe police said on Thursday they had arrested 41 pool monitoring group's workers and seized their equipment, including computers, to tabulate the results of voting content. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the TeleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. On Thursday, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the expansion of the BRICS groups starting in January 2024 with the accession of 6 countries. With the entry of Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, BRICS will comprise 46% of the world's population and 39% of the world's gross domestic product. Chinese President Xi Jinping described the expansion of the alliance as historic and affirmed that it will give the mechanisms greater quality.
We have consensus on the first phase of this expansion process, and other phases will follow. We have decided to invite the Argentine Republic, the Arab Republic of Egypt, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates to become full members of BRICS. The membership will take effect from the 1st of January 2024.
For his part, Alberto Fernandez, President of Argentina, one of the newest members of the bloc, also participated in the BRIC Plus dialogue via video link and stressed the importance of the bloc's unity to build a new economic architecture worldwide to foster development instead of inequality.
We need solid consensus pillars to move forward towards a sustainable and reformed development architecture that leads to equal conditions in this existing world. We need to be the motors of a sustainable economy recovery with equity, inclusion and respect to sovereign equality and its core. The condition of possibility for that achievement to be reached and be sustainable over time is to secure more resources to finance development and not financial speculation. To apply immediate measures to make sure debt is sustainable and put an end to the worst practice shown today by the International Monetary Fund. We need to favor balanced commercial exchange that do not deepen existing asymmetries, as well as promote investment and a scientific and technological cooperation.
Ethiopia was among the 6 countries invited on Thursday to join the BRICS blocs of developing economies. Speaking to attendance of the summit, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed highlighted the importance of the BRICS today's time.
This BRICS summit is taking place at a critical moment in time, when often unheard voices in the global arena are striving to be heard. The money crisis we have faced as a global community, particularly after the COVID-19 pandemic, have further exposed how cooperation is key for our collective survival.
During his speech at the BRICS Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi hailed the bloc's decision to admit his country into the group.
The decision made by BRICS members to expand this group is a commendable move that paves the way for a global expansion within the framework of justice. BRICS is a symbol of such a change and transformation in the international equation that is capable enough to contribute positively in resolving global problems.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for the reform of the global financial system during his address at the BRICS Summit in Johannesburg on Thursday.
We are entering a multipolar world, but history has shown time and again that multipolarity without strong multilateral institutions is no guarantee for stability. It might even become a catalyst for chaos. So we must urgently restore trust and reinvigorate multilateralism. And this requires the courage to compromise for the common good. It requires effective international institutions rooted in 21st century realities based on the UN Charter and international law. The pandemic has underscored once again how the global financial architecture is outdated, dysfunctional and unjust. It has failed in its basic function as a global safety net, and so it needs deep structural reform. But I also know that such change will not happen overnight, and so I have proposed a number of measures we can take right now, and they include providing a Sustainable Development Goals stimulus to direct investments towards the Sustainable Development Goals, with a funding equivalent of $500 billion, overhauling the business models of multilateral development banks so that they massively increase affordable financing and leverage far more private finance to the developing world.
The director of the Institute of Asian and African Countries of Moscow State University, Alex K. Maslov, believes the BRICS is becoming a very important trans-regional organization.
BRICS is working on several projects that were formally laid down many years ago, but only now there is a real need for them. The first is, of course, direct transfers of funds, trade funds, and for this, BRICS has the new BRICS Bank, which basically works on infrastructure projects. Secondly, these are various consultations in the field of, first of all, security, trade security, security of transport of goods, cargo, which is also extremely important for the current situation. And finally, thirdly, today BRICS is becoming a very important transregional organization.
In the context of the 15 BRICS summits, the president of the Indian International Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Anil Tewayanaid, said that the participation of countries from different continents in the association could turn BRICS into a major economic and global platform.
At the moment, there are about 40 countries that have directly or indirectly expressed interest in joining BRICS. And that means participation of countries from different continents, including the rich Gulf countries, which could turn BRICS into a major economic and global platform, a kind of new G20.
Let's take a very short break, but remember you can now join us on our TikTok account TeleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez accused in a press conference on Thursday that he could pseudo leaders of the extreme right of making irresponsible calls to the Bolivarian army.
We have seen lately, in the last weeks, in the last days, statements by pseudo-leaders of the Venezuelan political opposition making irresponsible calls to the Bolivarian National Armed Forces. The armed forces have a constitutional role to fulfill. It is not necessary that someone use the Bolivarian National Armed Forces for his own partisan purposes. We reject that outright. That is not the role of a political party, of a democratic leader here in Venezuela. It wouldn't be the role.
In this regard, Padrino Lopez reaffirmed the commitment of the armed forces to enforce the will of the Venezuelan people.
Well, we want to tell the people of Venezuela that the Bolivarian National Armed Forces are here, ready and willing to carry out these free and fair elections. Free and fair election to the greatest expression of national peace, We have seen it throughout these years, even in the constituent elections, an event where much of the violence prevailed. More than 1,000 machines were destroyed. Well, we are going to be very vigilant, and we are going to ensure the execution of these elections as established by our laws and our institutions themselves.
Likewise, the senior military official said that since 2014, more than 20 conspiracies against the government authorities have been foiled.
We cannot forget that we continue to be classified as an unusual and extraordinary threat to the United States of America, and that from 2014 to the present date, more than 20 conspiracy plans have been plotted with the clear objective of attacking the integrity of the legitimately constituted Venezuelan authorities.
The head of the defense portfolio denounced that the unilateral coercive measures imposed by the U.S. and its allies are an attack on the Venezuelan people.
This agenda of the fascist right wing is part of an escalation of actions that flagrantly and treacherously affect the stability of the Republic. Hence, the doomsayers of chaos and disaster have proposed, as an electoral strategy, to hinder the current efforts of the Venezuelan state to achieve its most precious consensus, such as preserving peace and unity, condemning and demanding the lifting of criminal sanctions, and promoting economic recovery through the construction of a new diversified productive model, which will lead us towards the restitution of the state of social welfare.
Brazil's notorious military police, a relic of the military dictatorship years, continues to commit large-scale human rights abuses against the poor and the black population. What can be done to stop them? In Recife, our correspondent Brian Mir reports.
Jair Bolsonaro, who encouraged police violence, may no longer be in power, but the police genocide against Brazil's poor, primarily black population on the urban periphery continues, with 45 people killed by police in the first week of August alone, and dozens of summary executions and episodes of torture registered by human rights groups during the first half of 2023.
The problem with the military police here in Brazil is that they don't see us socially as human beings. We are identified by our color. They don't give us a chance to show who we are as black mothers and fathers of families, poor workers, or students.
The main culprit in this ongoing terror against Brazil's poor are its notorious military police. Ostensibly run by the state governors, they operate on the margins of the law and their actions aren't regulated by the criminal courts. Between 2003 and 2016, the Workers' Party tried to pass a constitutional amendment disbanding them 3 times, but each time they were blocked by conservative parties in their own governing coalition.
It is fundamental that we demilitarize the police. It's important to remember that the police are associated with tactics to repress the population that were used during the military dictatorship period. They view the people as agitators, and they treat our nation's poor population with absurd levels of violence and disrespect.
Brian Mir, TeleSUR, Recife.
The effects of the drought on the Central American region are beginning to have negative impact on the Panama Channel, the largest waterway in Latin America. The drop in the channel's water levels has led its management authority to limit to 24 the number of vessels that can transit it per day. 10 large vessels and 4 normal vessels through the Panamax locks and another 10 through the Panamax lock. In total, about 8 vessels less in normal times. In Greece, the forest fires emergency continues as firefighting services are trying to contain the numerous fires throughout the country. Winds continues to be one of the main problems in containing a blaze that has already devastated more than 62,000 hectares since last Saturday. Some 500 firefighters, including personnel from the Czech Republic, Bulgaria, and Romania, and more than 100 vehicles and 6 aerial vehicles are trying to contain some flames in Evros and prevent extinguish outbreaks from wrangling. Efforts are focused on the Darius forest, where the sheriff bodies of 27 migrants and asylum seekers who had entered Greece from nearby Turkey were found. In Pakistan, families with water and cattle were loaded into boats in a mass evacuation of around 100,000 people in the Monja province. According to the local authorities, several hundreds of villages and thousands of acres of croplands in the central province were inundated when the Southland River doubles its banks on Sunday. Rescue boats traveled from village to village over the past several days, collecting people of forces to wait on the roof of their homes as the water levels rose around them. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at TeleSUR English, where you'll be able to rewatch an interview, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. One final short break, don't go away. Zimbabwe police said on Thursday they had arrested 41 pool monitoring groups and seized data equipment, including computers, tabulated the results of vote counting. Police spokesperson accused the workers of being involved in supervisors and coordinating the alert release by some civic organizations. The arrests oversees work with 2 accredited monitoring organizations, which deployed over 7,500 In the midst of the elections process in Zimbabwe, the opposition party held a press conference where they expressed their view of the process.
The electoral process is fundamentally flawed and is unable to produce a free and fair electoral outcome. Nonetheless, we knew this beforehand, and we've prepared ourselves to win an unfree and unfair election. So far, the information we have is that we are leading on the presidential election comfortably, and we are doing well on the parliamentary elections.
We continue in Zimbabwe. Now we will listen to the opinions of some citizens who have gone to polls to exercise the right to vote.
We come here at 6 a.m. so that we can wake up to check the line so that we can enter, but we waited for long, around to 9 o'clock, because people are saying that the ballot will come around 9, but we waited until 9 o'clock, then there's nothing. They say that they will come around afternoon, then we come at afternoon, there was nothing, then we go home, then we come back and check again around 4 and it was nothing. Then I heard just here that they come in today at midnight.
Yesterday we wanted to vote, but we're frustrated with the process. We had to wait the whole day for the ballot papers. I went back home, I came back here, and then I heard over the phone that the papers came at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I came to cast my vote.
Rescue teams in Nigeria were still searching for survivors on Thursday after a building collapsed in the country's capital, leaving 2 people dead and many trapped. The 2-story property located in Garki, a populous street in Abuja, collapsed during a downpour on Wednesday night. The building serves as both a shopping mall and a residential block, and some of those trapped are believed to be shoppers. A spokesperson for the Federal Emergency Management Agency said that 37 people have been rescued alive from the rubble so far and that the rescue operation will continue until its debris are researched. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has called for the regulation of exception to the sanctions against Nigeria so that humanitarian aid required by the country is not affected. The organization has denounced the important quantities of urgent medical supplies, nutritious food equipment, and food reserves are paralyzed in neighboring countries due to their border closure, in addition to other contingents generated as a result of the decision of the Economic Community of West African States and their African Union in response to the size of power by the so-called National Council for the Safeguarding of the Homeland since July 26. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.